Hey guys, just wanted to do a quick update. I mentioned in the comments, some of you have been asking some questions lately, and I mentioned I was going to do another video after the New Year, so here it is. Wanted to give you guys an update. I'm doing really well. You can kind of see here. I'm trying to hang my shoulders down as best I can. It's still bumping out. See if you can see it. You can see that, the bone. It's fun. It's like a fun parlor trick I show my buddies when we're out on the boat. I can show them that, the bone goes down. So it's obviously still protrudes a little bit, but slow and steady wins the race, right? So I just want to kind of give you an update on physically what's going on. So when I hurt my shoulder, I was bench press. I'm 6'4" and I weigh 210 pounds. At the time, I weighed about 200 pounds because I was able to go to the gym a lot more. This is before I had two kids. So now I have two kids. Trust me, for those of you who are parents, you know what I'm talking about. I'm lucky if I get in the gym 3 days a week, and I'm lucky to be there for more than an hour, hour and a half. Lucky. Anyway, so I was able to bench press back then 245 plates on both sides, and I'm just recently, about 2 or 3 months ago, I got there. I finally got back there, and it was a great day for me. I was really excited. I even went out with the wife and we celebrated, had some drinks. It was great. So it was a long road to get there. Okay, so my philosophy. I don't know if you guys know anything about Bruce Lee, but I used to be way into that. And in my younger years, I was really, really ripped and strong and everything. And that's because I read a lot about Bruce Lee, and his philosophy was the rings of a tree. He had this philosophy where if you cut down a tree and you look at the rings on the tree, the ones that were the toughest wood and the ones that were the hardest to cut through were the ones that had lots of tiny little rings, lots of them. And the ones that were easy and came down nice and easy and weren't very strong wood, really kind of fluffy wood, those are the ones that had big rings, lots of big rings. And he had that philosophy about the human body that the more rings you have, the stronger you are, right? So you want to have lots of layers of that, lots of layers of rings in your muscular, your skeletal structure and everything. And so I've had that philosophy forever. And so when I got this injury, I went into that mode, and I slow and steady. I started off nice and easy. Like this particular motion here, guys, this one right here, this is the one that, of all the things that are gonna show up for you with this injury, that's the one that you're gonna notice. And a great way to explain it is, when I first got this, right before I got this, I was able to pick up my son, my now 5-year-old son. He was like 2 or 3 at the time. I could grab him by the collar of his shirt from behind, like a cat does. Cats pick up the babies by the back of the neck. I didn't grab him by the skin or anything, but when we would just be horsing around, I could grab him by the back of his collar, and I could easily do this with him, no problem. He's a 25-pound kid, no problem. It took me, just recently have I been able to do that, and because I didn't trust it, because you'll notice that there's like a lot of weakness there, and you're fearful to do anything like even it took me a long time to even pick up like a gallon of milk and do this, right? So that particular motion I really targeted for the long haul. Like I started off with 2-pound dumbbells doing this, 4 sets of 10. Then I started off with, then I went to I think they had a 3-pound even. I did 3 pounds for a couple weeks, then 5 pounds for a couple weeks. Then they had a 7.5 pound, did that for a couple weeks. And then when I got to the 10 pounds, I had a lot of difficulty. So I took like 2 months in that weight. And then I got to 15 or 12 and then 15. And then recently I got to 20, like about 2 or 3 months ago. So now I can do 20, 4 sets of 20. And now next week I'm probably going to jump back up to 25, which is where I was originally. And when you get to 25, that's when you're like bodybuilding, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, everybody's different, everybody's built differently, but I'm tall and lanky. So for me to do this with 25 pounds, it's a lot. And I do remember in like my 20s, I was able to do this with 35 pounds, but I don't want to get all meated out and crap like I used to be. It's ridiculous. So my goal is to be at 25, and then I'm calling it. 4 sets of 10. I'll at that point I will check a box saying my shoulder's as good as it ever was. I don't have pain in my shoulder. At all. I mean, I never have pain. I can sleep on both sides, no problem. I still just because whenever I sleep, I try to keep my shoulder like this in the hopes that it keeps that bone, the end of the collarbone, closer to this ligament. It's kind of like almost like a placebo effect, because it's probably not doing anything, but maybe it is. Maybe that might be why my shoulder healed pretty well. Because I've seen some of you in the comments tell me that they're like, wow, you don't even look like you got injured. But I assure you, I have a grade 3. I mean, I can show you guys the x-ray if you want. You can see the bones hanging way out. And they said you definitely have a grade 3. But I feel like, because when you're sleeping, you'll notice it. Like I remember when I first got injured, I was always touching it and feeling like, where can I set my shoulder where it feels like it's the most joined, and I'd leave my arm like that when I would sleep, and I'd even like tie shit around my body to try to keep me from moving while I was sleeping. I don't know for sure if that worked, but I'm just telling you guys this so that maybe you can try it if you're in that position where you're nervous about the healing process. So I would take I mentioned in my other videos that ambrosia, it's a powdered shake or something. And I just read through all the meathead bodybuilders. I'm not into that stuff. My workout, when I was all bulking up and big and strong, doing the Bruce Lee stuff, I used to eat boiled chicken breast and broccoli, and then big glasses of orange juice. That's what I used to. That's how I got big, and I was big, man. I mean, I'm telling you, there was a point where I was 225, and I was bench pressing in my 20s. I was bench pressing 310. I was so strong, and always boiled chicken breast, broccoli, and orange juice every day, over and over again. I'd sometimes eat multivitamins, but never any powders or any of that crap. So that's my philosophy. But this time with the injury, I did take powders, and I did a lot of research, and I found that ambrosia I am not plugging them. I'm not getting any money off of them. I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. It worked for me. After every workout, I'd have a cup of it, and it's not bad, but it's not good. I just swallow it down quick, right? My battery's low. That's what I'm plugging. So, I would suggest doing that, or do some research, because maybe there's something better now. I don't know, but that ambrosia stuff worked for me. I'm just trying to help you guys get it healed as straight as I can. And remember, I mentioned this earlier in my videos. Here's that bra. You'll see that this is the one you want. You want the one with this V in the back. That's the one that you guys should get. I think it's called a clavicle brace. I wore that while I worked out for the first, I think it was the first 3 months. And I wore it every day to work, and I'm a software engineer, so it's just a lot of walking and sitting at a computer all day. But I still wore it anyway to keep my clavicle where I wanted it. And it was very uncomfortable, and it was a pain in the ass. You have to wash it all the time because it stinks. But it's another thing where, just like the ambrosia powder crap, I think you should do it. I think that you'll regret it if you don't. And it's not expensive. I think I got that for $20. I call it my bra. And the ambrosia maybe was another $20, and I just did the one thing of it, and I was done. Never didn't get a refill or anything. So I think that's money well spent. If I could go back in time, I would not have gone to a physical therapist, because in my videos, I think I show you guys somewhere along the lines. I show you guys what those are. If you can't find those, can somebody leave me a comment in this video, and I'll go dig through. I have a cloud where I have all these pictures and crap in there, and I know I saved them, so I can maybe figure out a way to re-upload them, or maybe I'll do another video where I take a slow video of each picture so that you guys can pause it and somehow like screen capture and print it or something like that. Because I want to make sure you guys have those workouts, so then you don't have to go to the physical therapist. You just do what they say on the forms. It's really simple stuff. Like, well, there's the pendulum where you hang your arm down and hang off of your bed and just hang it down and let it hang. That one was really good. There's the one where you push on the wall like this. And I think there was one like this where you just push. The idea is you're trying to keep some strength there. But the one thing that I want to make sure I tell you guys in this video, the workout that I do most of every time I go to the gym is that one I mentioned with the pulleys. That's the one where you put if you have that machine where it's the pulley machine, you pull the pin and you can bring the whole apparatus up and put the pin back in, and then the pulley's up here. Do that where your arm is completely stretched out straight, okay? And do this way, and then have the resistance go this way, and then you want to go this way, right? And then you want to have one go this way behind you, like so you're pulling it towards your body, and then you want to have one where you go like this, where you're pulling this way, right? You want the resistance on all 4 directions. Do 4 sets of 10. Start with no weight. When you're initially injured, don't do any weight, because you're going to see that it hurts to do just about any movement above your head is going to hurt. I remember that. I remember it hurting. And I took it really slow. Hold your hand on the joint while you're doing it. Okay? And feel for those pops and clicks. If you feel any of that stuff, don't do it. Stop. Just, do as many as you think you can do, because you're not wasting your time. Any exercise you can do is going to help you get to that point. You got to remember the rings of a tree. You got to keep doing it, because now you're missing these 2 ligaments and you're missing this ligament. And this ligament right here, that's the reason our collarbones are sticking out. We don't have this connection anymore. So if you can get all the muscle around here that's remaining strong as hell, then it doesn't need those ligaments. Who gives a shit about your collarbone? You're fine, right? I'm telling you for a fact. No matter what the doctors say, no matter what anyone's trying to sell you, these hospitals these days, they're always trying to sell you on some bullshit. It is what it is. But I will say this to that younger kid that left the comment. I really feel bad that this happened to you. I honestly, I do. I read that and it just kind of made me really sad, because and I know you mentioned you're in sports, but that was my response. In my response, I told you that's why I'm making these videos, because just for people like you, I feel so bad that this happened to you at that age. And so if I were you, I'm contradicting myself right now. If I were you, I think I would get this surgery, but I don't want you to do it just because I'm saying you should. What I will say is this is a lifelong injury, okay? So this is not something you want to rush. You do not want to rush this. The people that I've seen in videos that a lot of the research I've done have all kind of said the same thing in one way or another. They said, I shouldn't have rushed it. I should not have gone right back into doing my normal thing. I wish I'd have taken my time and healed it. That's what I did. And that is why, I know some of you have mentioned in the comments that it looks pretty good. I think that's why it looks like this, because I took my time and I really healed it. It's healed. And I remember, I don't know at what point in my videos I said this, but I remember saying it. I said, I want this to be stronger than this side. And it's pretty much there. Like I'm pretty sure I can lift more with this arm than I can with this arm. But it was a long